Hi, my name is Zelda and welcome to Zelda Sews. I just found out about Friday Sews, so I'm going to upload my video that I started last week, and it's on this pattern that I have been working on, Butterick B6751. I'm working on this, and I am struggling because I think I made too many changes, but I would love your help. I would love your help. Thanks. It's a little long one, so get a cup of coffee. This is my room. On this side is all of my skincare, makeup, and beauty. And on this side, I have my table, and I'm going to start sharing with you again. No, actually, not again. I'm going to share with you Zelda Sews. I have made a couple of bridal gowns. I have made a coat. I've made dresses and skirts, pants, shirts. Yet my shirts, I never learned how to fully adjust them to where they would fit me properly in the shoulders or fit me properly across my bust. I did not do that. So I have been watching lots and lots of sewing channels, and I decided, the clothes that I have a lot of like t-shirts, but I would like to make some blouses and some skirts that fit me properly. And I want to learn a little bit differently than when I learned initially. And I learned from a Singer sewing book. That book was amazing, and I ended up getting it again. It's an updated version, but that taught me how to sew because I started sewing before YouTube was around. So I didn't have any help with uh, YouTube to learn how to do things. I just learned everything from the book, and I try to recall what I remembered from my mom sewing. And I did take one class when I was in high school sewing, and by the time I finished the outfit, I had outgrown it. So I don't want that to happen now. I'm going to show you the pattern actually that I want to use. This is just a start. My goal is to make a pattern block, a bodice block, a skirt block that is fitted to me, my measurements, and I will be able to take that and draft other shirts or designs from that. That is a goal. I have my own style. Doesn't look like it right now, but uh, actually, I like this walking around the house, but I would like to make some different tops. I'm going to show you this butterick B6751, and I'll bring it up to the camera, and I'm going to actually make the letter C. I'm going to make this one because I like the higher collar. I don't want that. I don't like sleeveless. I don't wear sleeveless. So what I'm going to do, and what I did, I wrote down the pattern body measurements. And I will put up here on the screen so that you can see it. The differences between my measurements and the pattern measurements and what I'm going to do. So for this pattern, it calls for bust, waist, hip, and back waist length measurements. On the pattern, it says for size 20 because I started to use this, Pattern Fitting with Confidence. This is a great book, absolutely great book. And I chose to do a right size measurement, and that is where you measure from armfold to armfold. And my size was 15 and a half. Years ago, it was 16, but now I measure 15 and a half. So that would give me a Mrs. 20 or a women's size 40. But with this book, when you do they do a pivot and swing on here to make your changes. But if you're larger, if you have a difference between your high bust and your full bust is more than 4 inches, they recommend doing extensions. And I just did not understand it in this book. So I was on YouTube following a few people, but the one that I'm going to mention today, her name, I don't know her first name, but her channel is called Lifting Pins and Needles. And she is an absolute sweetheart. I love the way she speaks. I like the way she explains things. And so I chose to follow her. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this pattern out and I'm going to do a full bust adjustment on the pattern using the steps that she used. So up here on the screen, you should see it says size 20 pattern, bust, waist, and hip. And on the first column, it has the pattern sizes. And on the second column is me. So my high bust is 42 and a half inches, but my full bust down below is 47 and a half. So right next to it on the side, I put a half an inch and then I put an asterisk for the differences. On the waist, it says 34. I've never had a 34 waist. I don't even think, even when I was 34, I had a 34-inch waist. But my waist is 47. And so the difference between those two numbers are 13 inches. The hip measurements, it measures a 44 on the pattern, and my hip measurement is 49 and a half. So that's 5.5 inches. I will deal with the waist and the hip later, but what I'm going to do is do the full bust adjustment using the formula that she came up with. And she explained the entire method of doing a full bust adjustment. And then at the end, she just showed you how to get the number that you need. So with a full bust adjustment, my full bust minus my high bust minus the pattern cup size. This pattern cup size is a B. I'm sorry, not a D, a B. B is in boy. So I am not a B cup. I'm I'm not a D. I'm an E cup or an F cup, if you want to say that. But what you want to do, you want to take your full bust minus your high bust. So my full bust was 47 and a half minus the high bust, which is 42 and a half, and that gives me 5. And then I'm going to minus the pattern cup size, which is for a B, you minus 2. So 3 divided by 2, or 2, yeah, is 1.5 inches. So I am going to do a 1.5 inch full bust adjustment on my pattern, and I'll show you that in a moment. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut out this pattern here, and then I will be back to show you the full bust adjustment. Okay, so I have my center front piece cut. I have all the pieces that I need, which is 3, 4, 5, and 6. So just to show you this, if I were to put this on my side seam and up on me, here, I'm not even close to closed here, up here. So I do need to make room for the girls. Okay, and how I'm going to do that, this right here, it marks the bust point, but I can make sure that that is my bust point by measuring it, or I can actually put this up to me. And yeah, that's not even close. A little bit off. Actually, it's not too bad. Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone for the moment. Okay, and what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get some additional paper to put underneath here, and I'll be right back to show you that. Okay, I have my center front piece here, and what I have done, because I'm going to add a full bust adjustment, and I'm going to add a dart because I want a dart in my top. And so what I did, I measured down from my shoulder seam down to my bust point, and that was 12.5 inches. So I put a mark right here, and then this is a half of my apex to apex point, so bust point to bust point. So I put my little X here, and what I did from this point, I drew a line straight up, perpendicular to that bust that bust point. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut here. Mistake number one, I should have traced this pattern onto clean paper and then kept my original uncut. Live and you learn. And I also drew a line about an inch and a half right from the bust point horizontally. So I have a vertical and horizontal line. And also to add the dart, I took the point right from my bust point and I drew a straight line into my armpit, where the dart is. And so what I will do is I'm going to cut straight up here, and then I'm going to pivot, and I'm going to go right to here, and I'm going to stop just before I go all the way through. And actually, I'll just kind of do that piece first here. So now the measurement that I needed to get to for here is 1.5 inches. So what I'm going to do is put some paper underneath here. And so this will be my dart. And it looks like a pretty big dart. But we shall see. Let's see. Actually, I want to see. I can always add another dart elsewhere, but we'll see. Okay. Wow. That's a huge dart. That's a huge, huge dart. So what I'll do, I'll close it. So my side seam will still be the same. But I will cut out some of the fabric that's in there so that it's not sitting up. Or I may add another dart up in here. Oh, my designer brain cells are kicking in. Woohoo! We shall see. Okay, let me take this down. Okay. Let's see what this does here. And it doesn't change my armhole either because it's that way. So what I'm going to do is true this up. Close this dart. Let's see. I saw someone do this. They use this to dart the paper. Oh, I want to come 1 inch away from my apex. So maybe an inch and a half, actually. Let's try 1.5 inches. Do it that way. Okay. Then I'm going to bring this up. Oh, let me finish taping that down. Don't want anything to move. Okay. So do my best to, let me take this paper off here. Close this dart and then cut off that excess paper. Okay. And voila. Okay, let's cut this away. Okay, so now I have my adjusted pattern, and what I'm going to do is trace it over another piece of paper after I check this. Cut this off at the bottom. And this is my first full bust adjustment ever. So proud of myself, even if it didn't come out right. I think it did though, but I'm going to. Okay. So let me bring the camera back up to me and I'll be right with you. Okay, so I have finished marking up the other pattern. This is the one that I had originally, and then what I'll do is lift this up this away here, take this away here, save that later, and right here is my other pattern for my full, with the full bust adjustment. I am debating whether I want to put another dart down below, but I may just keep this one like this for now and see how it works. So that is it for now. I will be back. Okay, I am back. I had a little bit of a blood sugar issue. It dropped. So I needed to get me something to eat. I was wondering why I got so hot and I got sweaty and then shaky. I should have known right then when I was trying to cut. My hand was shaking. Okay, so what I did, I reshaped this armhole so it's more of a curve. Let me see if I can find my, yeah. I have both. This one, which has the seam allowance, and I have to remeasure everything because I'm not sure if I cut away any seam allowance. I don't think I did, but we'll see. So I have the nice armhole curve here. I have my dart here, but what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to cut this off at my waist, and I'm going to put another dart, making this a little bit smaller. I'm going to put a dart right here. So I have to go from my bust point here, and that's what I'm going to do. So right now, let me move this pattern piece. I mean the instructions. So that will be here. I'm going to take so I have the one dart here. Here is my bust point. And here is mistake number 2. That's not my bust point. That's 1.5 inches away from my bust point. So I'm going to cut up here and over here, and then I'm going to add a dart over here. That way I can pivot this. And let me see. Actually, I'm going to cut it in the middle. Cut it in the middle. Let me make sure I do have a straight point. I don't think I did. Huh? You can stay with me, yeah. Just as long as you're quiet. Okay, I'm gonna cut. See, this is so close to my arm curve that I'm thinking I might need to cut here. And then what to do. I'm going to cut this one. That way I can move it, and then I could still have this piece to close. Maybe, yeah. Okay. I don't know if this is right or wrong, but there's no harm in trying. Oh no, I got it. This one, nope. That didn't even cut. Oh my goodness, that didn't cut at all. Gotta change that blade. Let's put that out the way. I just found some of these. I haven't seen them in a while, so. that cut. And I'll cut a little bit further up into that seam when I get there. And the reason why I cut the bottom off for the waist, because you can't add a dart with the hip measurements in there. Just need that. So this is already large, so I'm going to close this off out like there. Yes. And then I'll have a smaller dart. And then I have a dart here. Okay. Now I have to get a piece of paper. Get that thing. I have a lot of copy paper, so I'm using this up. Okay, so now the legs are here. Got this tape. This one now is just from here to there. So I'll go 1 inch away. Right there. Okay. I gotta go see where these little feet have run off to. Okay, I am back. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to come 1 inch away from my bust point, and I'm going to draw my new dart legs on both sides. I see a lot of people. Oh, yeah, no, that's the way it goes. I see a lot of people on TV, and they on TV that too, and they don't show their mistakes or anything like that. I like to know how people get to certain things, and this is one reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, so that I can know how to get to from one point to the next. And as you can see, I cannot talk and think at the same time. So Actually, no. Let's get that closer. Wait a minute. Let's take this down. Oh. Oops. I heard a tear. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. So I'm going to close this back for a moment. Wait. No. I'm going to open this because my waste dart has to taper. So I'm going to leave this open here. Leave that open. And that should match up. Okay, I'm just checking something out here. I want to make sure my side seam is the same length. See, well, I'll have to add the dart. I'll have to add a dart back in there now. So let's close this. Put that there. Mark that. How far down do I mark that? That I don't know. I don't know.
Mistake number 3, confusion.
Well, let's see how far this one's up pretty far. So my hem should be just about as long.
Help!
Okay. This is what I came up with, and I'm not sure if it's right, but this is what I'm going to do until I learn how to do this correctly. So what I did, I took my my waistline to hip pattern piece that I cut off earlier, and I split it at the top and the bottom, lining up with the bust point from up here. So like this line straight down here, I didn't draw a line, but it's folded. So what I did, I split it. So I'm going to bring this corner to this line here. And because this is 2 inches, so I measured out 1 inch on each side. And I'm just going to tape it there. And take this line here and do the same thing and match it up with that point. And so I will have up and down here my dart that goes in and then comes out. So I believe that's what it'll look like. Let me draw this one in. It's right on the paper fold, so you don't see it. Okay. So that is what I'm going to do. And then once this is folded in, it will match back up to the sides. So once I have folded this in and taped it in, then I'm going to do my waistline adjustment and then my hip line adjustment. Make sure I have enough room to fit my body into this. Okay, this is what I got so far. Got my darts in, and I put some pins here to see if it fits in the front, and it did. I don't know about the back though. I might need to add a little more. Feels like it's at the crack of my booty, but I'm gonna walk out. I can't tell it here. So, but anyway, this is what it is. And I'm going to check this and I'm going to do a muslin of it and see what I got.
I chopped away my seam allowance, so I'm going to add 5/8" seam allowance to the pattern, and then I'll make my muslin.